Time to get real, reality TV aficionados. Welcome to the Georgio Says podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Georgio Takanakis, and I'm here serving you the juiciest updates on all your favorite reality shows weekly, as well as the hottest pop culture trends, and even exclusive interviews that will leave you wanting more. This podcast will keep you on the edge of your seat. We definitely need to talk about this. The Georgio Says podcast starts now.
Golly Nutrition is an inventive, people-focused nutrition company committed to providing innovative products that make taking your daily supplements simple and delicious. Their products are formulated with quality ingredients you can pronounce and flavors your taste buds will absolutely enjoy. And at the core of it all, they lead with purpose. Golly for Good is an initiative committed to playing a profound role in supporting the health of our planet as well as our local communities. Learn more about their initiatives such as B Corp certification, Vitamin Angels partnership, and Eden reforestation projects at their Golly for Good page. And if you use my special code, The Georgio Says, at checkout, you will receive a special discount. All right, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Georgio Says, the podcast. My name is Georgio, obviously, and I have our special guest from last week here to recap Real Housewives of Salt Lake City again. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Georgio Says.
Well, I guess we might need to start calling you Mark Ruffalo because a lot of people flooded my DMs and mentioned that you look like Mark Ruffalo. Or you guys could be related, or you could be brothers.
If I had a nickel.
Yes. So anyways, I hope everyone's having a good hump day so far. But we need to get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's episode 2, and we have some vacation crashers on our hands. So where do we even begin? Well, we do start off the episode with Lisa and Meredith meeting up to finally, I guess, move on or
bury the hatchet.
Bury the hatchet. Yeah. What did you think about that?
It was nice, I guess, but it's just like at the end of this whole thing, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, like we've been dragging this out for, I didn't even realize it's been 2 years now, but it's really all because of the hot mic situation. Like, this is real, is it? Obviously, it was the hot mic, and then all the post revenge fight. But like, really, that was the conflict that started this whole thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think
kind of like
we're kind of like spatting at each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a hot mic after they got into a big fight at that dinner party. But I don't know, I just I don't know, something clicked when she was like, "We've been doing this for 2 years." Like,
it was a long time
for that type of conflict where it was really just mean words. It wasn't really a act of betrayal or a dishonesty situation or whatever. It was just like,
no, I'm happy.
Well, except the fact that she said she screwed half New York, and that's
like that. Some of those,
but
things,
still, it was
I mean,
just like rage.
Just
rage hate.
I mean, rage just hate. Like calling someone a whore,
right? She didn't like.
Doesn't mean that they're a whore.
Like, she didn't like.
I don't think she really thinks that she slept with half of New York.
Right. She didn't pull like a Teresa on her
or something. Well, I'm glad that I still feel like there's something on Lisa. Like, I don't know. I feel like she's moving forward, but I don't know if she's.
Lisa?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like she's as.
I mean, she's been the one that's been wanting to move forward. I think she was like.
I know, but that's why I feel like she's not really as excited. I don't know. Maybe
I think she's been over it, and so it's like, okay, like, her son's going away. That's what she's has to focus on. So, how much can you really, let Meredith
how much
Marx's
space is she going to hold? Yeah, she has other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Well, from there we do go to is it a water park or is it just like it looked like a
spa, like a thermal spa situation.
Heather and Whitney meet up to go to what looks like a thermal spa of some sort, like heated pools. Um, and this is probably the second time we've seen them just one on one. Well, that was a flashback when they showed us them together last week, but nonetheless, they have a little one on one time, but I feel like Heather really is triggered by this mission that Jack's going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if you recall last week, I predicted that the Jack's mission um strategy is exactly what Heather also said too. Because she like flashed it back and like, I know what a mission is. Me and my girlfriend wanted to just go have a little kiki. And so we did. And we just, we picked wherever they went. And she was like, da, 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 da. That's exactly what I said Jax is doing. So,
Well,
but I don't understand why like Heather has to just go. I mean, like, is she even more like? I think she's just kind of feel like Heather is giving us like Mormon police ambassador vibes, like
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess what I'm more concerned with is she alluding to something else? Because then they remember they refer to this like law where they're basically not allowed to talk about anything regarding any of the ceremonies under the church. It's like an oath that they have to take. And like I think Heather referred to it as a hate oath or a death oath or something. You say it to death. Like there's
yeah,
something
I think it's something you
there.
keep to the death, right? You like
Yeah,
or I
but
guess
then it's like,
you could
what are
be
you
killed.
hiding? What is it that's so sacred that only they can know about it? But I did think it was interesting that
Well,
she
that's
did
how
call
Mormon
it.
weddings are. You can't attend a Mormon wedding if you're not Mormon.
Oh, so it's not like you
Yeah,
can't. They're not inclusive in that
right.
regard.
Like the temple, you can't go in there if you're not Mormon. The big temple on the big Mormon temple.
Oh,
It was open. It was closed for a while for renovations, and then they opened it like this year for the first time in like 50 years. So, like you could go tour it, but only for like 3 or 4 weeks. They let all the like anybody in because it's so iconic.
yeah, outsiders.
Yeah, outsiders. Yeah, but I think it's. I think it. I mean, well, I'm sure it's kind of like thing. Yeah, any organization has proprietary information they don't want out there, but I think it's kind of sold under the guise of like pride and yeah, include like belonging, and it's like this is so sacred. It's only for the chosen.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
how
I mean, it
I
is
think that's
very
what they're feeling. But
well. They definitely hold all of that in high
mhm,
regard,
mhm.
obviously, because well, Whitney's not clearly getting in the mix because she immediately kind of is just like, I don't think this is something we should be
Well, yeah, I mean,
getting involved in.
she wasn't excommunicated, but I don't know. I remember
Well, she walked away from it and she
yeah,
basically
she
like,
severed ties, but
yeah.
Heather was excommunicated, right? Or no?
No, she's still a part of it. Like
Right. So
her
like
name
the
is
two
still
of
on
them.
the thing or whatever that Whitney. Remember last season, Whitney wrote that letter to get her name off the whatever the
Right.
scribe.
Right.
Well, apparently Heather, even though has left the church, apparently she's not had her name taken off the scribe. And when asked about it, she said it was because it was more of a formality thing, and she didn't feel the need to have to like do that one step.
That's
So
well,
it's
when we
just
watched
interesting.
Whitney go through that, it was did not seem simply a formality.
No, she it was
She like tried to
symbolic
do
of
it like
her,
I
like
think she tried to do it one like I remember her saying like she attempted to do it like once or twice before and
yeah, I think
like
she
had
well, I
cold
think she had
feet and then like she made such a not she made but she was clearly showing it as like a significant thing. I think even Heather came over to like
yeah, yeah, she was. She was in
sign the
that thing when
papers
they
with
were
her
there
and stuff.
signing it and
So
stuff. Yeah, no, I
it's hard to
think
say that that's like, oh, it's just because if it was just a formality, then she wouldn't have rushed over to Whitney's house.
this falls under the category of like not talking about the children though. Because he's not an
Yeah.
adult. He's literally like he's like graduating high
Oh!
school to
I thought you
go
meant
to.
they're each other's faith exits or whatever.
No, I'm just saying from where Heather's coming from. I
Yeah,
think I wouldn't want to go that angle because I feel like that's an immediate like you're essentially going after the kid and talking about his decision without him. I
but
don't know. It's
she's
weird.
really
He's not a part of the show outside of being.
yeah. But you know, she was just kind of using him as a pawn. She was really
She was going after
she was
Lisa.
criticizing Lisa's Mormonness.
Yeah, she
Just
was,
like
but
I
she went
said
through
last
her
week
son
too.
to
It's like, I
do
mean,
it, which is like going to be a
no, I
problem.
think the way how they're saying it is much more
She should have just said, "I find
grimy.
her to be like, whatever." They clearly don't.
But also like just okay, so I mean, okay, hear me out, right? Like this kid is being raised in this technically Mormon family, like if his mother is not acting like across all the ideals or in the perfect Mormon way, that doesn't mean it's not a reflection on him and his the strength of his faith. He could faith. He could still be,
Yeah, no,
you
he's
know,
his
he
own
could still be the
person.
Mormonistist and go on his mission, and it's fine, you know. Like I just everyone's in so much shock and like, oh my god, oh my god. It's like,
But that
but
makes
like
me
you
think
live in a
something's going that
Mormon
goes
area
on.
where like everybody's going on mission. So like, why is this so?
It just sounds like more of a sales
Or
thing
maybe
from what
it's
Heather
like
said.
maybe it's like a it's clearly like a storyline angle for Lisa, but then everyone's like, nah, let me just tag on to
I
that.
mean,
Like, you
seriously, I know.
know.
Let's all just jump on this mission train. Well, it suits Lisa that she made that part of her tagline. Taglines were clever, for a lot of them, not all of them. Whitney, I'm looking at you.
What was her or like my only religion is
It-
something.
yeah, but it's like the same. I feel like she always uses something with religion in her, like how Kyle always uses, like in Beverly Hills, in this town.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so then from there, we head on over to Angie K's house, and she's fixing up, I guess, what looks to be a Greek salad because she's Greek and proud of it. Um, but
Gorgeous house.
yeah, I was
Well,
just gonna
gorgeous
say,
kitchen. I
like,
only saw
well,
the
no,
kitchen,
I
but
mean, I think
gorgeous.
did they show her house last season at all? I don't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, the kitchen was really nice. Um, Angie and Heather went to high school together.
Yeah, why is Angie
Isn't that
like
wild?
insta villain this season? It's like I feel like she's
They're
just
really trying to ice her out, it seems. Well, just Heather and Meredith seem to not be.
but like hard. They're coming in hot.
Yeah, we're only in episode
Episode
2. I
2, and
know.
it's like she's already being not invited on the trip. Like,
I know. I feel like, well, did she? They didn't show Meredith actually inviting any of the ladies, so it was just like they just went right with.
that's no, they didn't show her inviting. They just showed that one conversation with her and her husband
Yeah,
when she
with
was saying,
stuff,
"I
which is.
invited everybody."
I wonder. So I guess it's clear that Angie does not realize that maybe part of the reason why Heather doesn't like her is because of what she said about her and Jen Shaw last season. Which I get, but I don't think
Okay.
that's enough to like.
Then
I
tell
don't.
us how you got the black eye, then
Still
Heather.
won't tell
That's what I'm
us.
saying. Okay, then until you tell us your story, then I
It's
reserve
not
the
in
right
the
to make up
book.
my own. So
You know, people thought it was going to be in her book. It wasn't. She's been on several panels. Never like she like teases it. Doesn't really say what it is. So it has to be. I made up my mind that Jen Shaw punched her. It has to be.
yeah, yeah.
Otherwise,
I
like
mean,
you're not speaking for a reason. Because if you fell and hit your face on a like faucet, you would say that by now. Anyways,
yeah, just I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what she did. That's just has her so like yeah. I don't know.
well, we see Lisa Barlow packing for the trip for the Trixie Motel, which is really cool, by the way. That
Yeah,
there's like a whole motel that's like just Trixie. It's like really interesting. Also, I think it's really cool because not Heather, Whitney and Trixie actually are really good friends outside.
Yeah, what's the story on that?
I think they just met. I don't remember how they met, but I do know that I want to say season 1, he had her on his YouTube channel and they were
Oh.
doing like getting ready together. Like he was getting ready and she was doing her makeup and they were just having like a conversation.
Hmm.
So, but I also know that I don't know how close he's with Meredith, but I know that they've been at the same events together because Meredith does that whole charity.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny. Like when she said it was a Trixie Motel, like it was Meredith, and I was like, it's her trip. I was like, oh yeah, makes sense because she's,
Hmm.
she's into the gays. So, um,
Yeah, and
yeah,
apparently so is Heather. I think Heather's definitely. You don't
definitely
think
what.
she's into the gays?
Oh, I don't know, not in the same way that Meredith is. I think like,
No, I think they
well, I
both
think
approach
like
it
I think
differently. Well,
Meredith is
Meredith
into
has
the
a
gays because
son.
the gays are into Meredith, so it's like a very
Well,
mutually.
she has
I
a
don't.
son who's kind of the entire gay community lumped in one sometimes, who's
So we're
of
not
a
going to
fan
talk about
base.
the children; they're off limits.
No, we're
So
not talking about the children. So okay, so we have Lisa Barlow packing, and
we saw Lisa Barlow packing. I don't remember that.
yeah,
We saw
remember
Meredith
John.
packing.
No, Lisa was packing and John was like, "Are you excited for the trip?" And she's like, "Well,
Mm.
I mean, yeah, but honestly, the last few trips have been like Amityville Horror, which quite honestly they have been." And I'm gonna be honest,
Oh, that's right. She was like Jen. Last time we went. Oh no, never mind. I was like last time we went to a spa. Jen Shaw. That was Heather.
that was Heather.
Jen Shaw tried to learn to drown me. No, that was Whitney.
No, it was Whitney.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, all
Whitney.
their trips are bad.
No, they always go really well. I mean, that's the
Her
point of the
last year
trip
because it was
still.
like they
But
could only travel domestically because of Jen. Like Whitney was like, "Yay, another trip to San Diego."
I believe they take their first
Oh, this is a domestic trip.
international trip this season, actually,
Oh,
first for the franchise. So that'll be
wow.
exciting. But yes, she's not buying. She's a little bit on the fence whether or not she thinks everyone's really going to have a fresh start, and I don't think she's wrong.
But I really get
Well,
so
because she brought up the
annoyed when
point about Angie not being invited, is what her point. Like, how are you going to have a fresh start if Angie's not even
I just
going?
hate, and this is across the board for every single franchise. I hate when they do this for every single trip. It's always like, yeah, like we're just hopefully like it's really we just really need to reconnect and reset and just clear the air and like come together. Like every single and it's like hopefully we can just have fun for once. There won't be any drama. Like stop.
I
Like can
hope
we
we
just
can actually eat dinner tonight.
like it's just every single one. And it's like I'm sorry, but in real life, I don't know any group of girls that's like I don't know any girl that would go on a trip with another girl or anyone really that you're not good with if you're not related to them. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
but if you had a friend in your friend group that was always messy and they invited the friend because they were friends with the person you didn't want to
I'm
go.
not saying who can come. I'm just saying the purpose of the trip. All these girls trips. It's like really just I really just want to bring us together. I just and it's like
Yeah,
this fake like
you know it's not.
connection from the location or the experience to like the thing, like but I mean not even just Solid, but remember like when they went to Zion last year to like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
re-cleanse. I was like, can we just say we're going on a trip? Like or
But
can
the
we go on a trip for like other like can we go on trips like to other attractions or things and like, go to Mardi Gras or go to whatever, like go somewhere where that's the thing. Going to the place, like
yeah.
destination, right? Like,
Well,
well, I don't know. I'm just, it's just not believable. But yeah.
well, then from there we see Whitney and Angie have clearly sparked up a friendship that's budding because they're at dinner with their husbands. And
Mhm.
this is where Angie finds out that she's not invited to this Palm Springs trip.
So, how legit do you think that surprise was? Like,
Oh,
or
like,
how
do you think she
legit?
already knew that she
Wait,
wasn't
no.
invited?
Yeah, I said that wrong. How completely innocent or accidental do you think that was on Whitney's part? Wait, what? You weren't invited? Oh my God! Did I spell like?
I don't know how much of it was a shock to Angie. I think Angie already knew this. I think they both knew
That's what I'm
before
saying.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah. So
did Whitney
I
actually?
do.
Did they both know, or
Yes, I
did
feel.
Whitney actually
I
spring it on her?
I don't think she sprung it on her. I feel that she
Yeah,
knew.
no,
They
it
both
was
knew
too.
walking into
This
the
is too
dinner.
scripted when she was like, "So you? Oh, you're not going."
Well, because it would. I mean, I could be wrong, but I read it like there's no way that that's her natural reaction to finding out that she's not been invited to a trip.
Yeah, I mean, you're a hot-headed Greek woman. If that was the case with you, if you were out to dinner with one of your friends and there was a trip you should have been on, you weren't. You mean you would have just been like, "Oh, hmm,
Oh,
weird." No, you would
absolutely
have
not.
Teresa flipped the table and been like, "What?" Yeah, like,
No, yeah, it would have. No, I think they definitely had a conversation beforehand, and she was like,
no, that's
"Look,
what I'm saying.
I'm gonna
That's
bring this
why it's
up."
also not genuine Angie in her personality. Like, if she was actually getting that information for the first time and she actually was like, she would have had a more visceral reaction.
Yeah,
So that's it. Yeah.
totally,
So that's what I
one
think.
thousand
I think it
percent,
was
one
prearranged,
thousand percent.
fabricated.
Um, yeah. So that is going to be interesting because if Heather and Meredith don't like Angie, then this already creates a divide in the group because then it's like she's obviously going to be coming to things, so they're going to have to figure something out, the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems that we have this really, I don't know if you found it funny, but there was this one hilarious scene where Mary is just randomly calling the Trixie Motel to ask if they have Dom Perignon 2003, when of course they do not. They also corrected that it's not a hotel, it's a motel. She was just like, okay, this keeps getting worse. And then to top it off, they had like pizzas to share and a couple cheese boards. And that is, I don't think that's what she thought it was going to be.
I don't like anything that Mary does or says
All right. Well,
at all.
there you have it, folks.
But
Jeff's
just like it's
opinion
just
on
come
Mary.
on,
Not
like
shifted.
that, like
Well, I think it's just showing how Mary's just like,
come on. Even her son is on the chair being like,
yeah, but he was laughing at her because he's
yeah,
like,
because he's
she,
like, this is I don't think he was laughing at actually what she was saying. He's like, this
no,
is
he's
the
laughing
most
at this is ridiculous. Because
ridiculous.
why would they have? I mean, I would never think that places had Dom. Well, specifically the 2003 one, just standard.
Yeah, like unless it's a hotel that you've actually heard of that's like a name brand, like I wouldn't expect there to be Dom there, you know. Or like it's like I'm saying like
But 2003
I
is
don't
very
know.
specific. So it's like, well, yeah, I guess if you're that specific, you would have to call ahead to like, but then wouldn't you just bring your own?
I'm just saying if you're worried about whether the hotel you're going to has 2003 Dom, then it doesn't, right? Like you should be the only hotels that are gonna have that is a hotel that obviously has it. Like if you're staying at the Ritz or the Four Seasons or the Park Hyatt or something, like like come on, let's be real.
Well, we find out, also, we didn't touch on this, but we find out that Meredith and Seth started a podcast called Hanging by a Thread, which I thought was really fitting. She also said they're going to be short episodes, 20 to 30 minutes, because she fears if they're any longer that they'll just get into an argument. Will you be listening to Meredith Marks?
I want to understand more clearly what the title, like what I don't quite get it.
Hanging by a thread.
Yes, I mean I understand the expression. I'm just not sure the relation to them because she said they're back better and stronger than ever, and their relationship is ever. So they're not hanging by a thread. I don't think anymore. So so I'm
Oh,
like,
I
is
see
there
what you
a
mean. Like the name doesn't
is there a
match.
metaphor that I'm missing here in this in what they're giving us?
Well, I do know that they dropped their official podcast today. So I guess I'll have to listen and see if there's more context as to why they went with that name, because otherwise it doesn't make sense, because hanging by a thread means you're at your
Barely, yeah.
you're
We're
barely
just
making
barely
it,
holding on, like barely
but
holding
they're
it
in a really
together.
good place. So
Yeah, that's what I meant.
the ladies get to the airport because they're heading off to their destination of Palm Springs, and they find out
Not
that
off to a
Whitney,
good start.
no, they find out Whitney has decided to take a different flight, but we don't know if she's taking an earlier flight or a later flight. Then Lisa Barlow gets there, and then we find out that Whitney took an earlier flight because she showed up with Angie K. So then we get to see her
We
at
knew
the
Angie K.
Trixie
We knew
Motel.
that was why she was doing that. So we already saw that she had invited Angie K.
Yeah,
So,
but we didn't know if she was coming before or after the ladies. So it's
yeah.
funny that she went earlier, but then it made sense because Trixie is her friend. So I'm sure that
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think that was all. They had to go separately and earlier because if she just showed up with Angie, that would have at the airport with all the girls. Like, I think that would have been quite complicated if they were all completely thrown off. Like,
yeah,
they
that
wouldn't have
probably
got on
wouldn't
the
have.
flight.
No, so
Wouldn't
or
have made that
Meredith would have
flight.
probably made a scene about it
Yeah.
because it was like it's her
Yeah.
trip.
And probably just from the production standpoint too, like they probably couldn't.
Or they just
Being in the
wanted, maybe they
airport and
felt it
stuff,
would
like
be
for
better if it was
security, they
all
probably had
like,
to know ahead of time who was going to be there, and so Whitney couldn't be like, oh, plus Angie's production. You know what I mean?
yeah, because it probably would have gotten back to Meredith, even if, yeah,
Right.
no, it wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah. No,
Well,
totally fine. But like, okay, again, I question, is Meredith really not in the loop? Because when it was like, oh, she just said she was going earlier. I don't know. And then like I think someone asked her like, okay, but did she say what time or did you ask her? And she's like, no, she didn't say. It was like, well, okay, if you're hosting a trip and one of your 7 or 6 guests says, oh, I'm not on this flight with you, da, da, and you're coordinating a host, wouldn't you ask, okay, well, what time are you gonna get here? Because there's all sorts of events and activities she has planned as the hostess. So wouldn't she not even just in an interrogative way, but I think that would be pretty normal, right?
I mean, yeah, but
Should we
this
hold
is,
dinner for you? Like, are you getting it? Like, should we, if you're getting in a half hour before or after, you can wait and get on the Sprinter van with us, something. But I just find it hard to believe that she just didn't ask
she could have
any
just
more
even just
follow up
said, like, I'm
questions.
taking an earlier flight because
Okay, which
Trixie's my
one?
friend.
Okay, so what time? Oh, okay. Do you want me to call the hotel and do you want me to make arrangements so that you can get there? You let them know you're getting there before us. Da, 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 da.
But why would she have to do that if she's friends with the owner of the motel?
It's still her trip. Like,
No, I
I'm
know,
just
but she could
saying.
just tell her I'm taking an earlier flight. Trixie's my friend, like
But that
just
is
an
what she did.
FYI. But no, she did take.
That is what she did.
She said I
That is
took
what she
a
said.
different flight. I'm taking a
Yeah.
different flight. She didn't say I took an earlier flight,
No.
so no one thinks that she's even there yet.
Yeah.
But then when they're back at the motel, it seems like they almost know that there's going to be a problem, obviously, because I think Whitney kind of is doing it more to be messy, not
Well, of course she
because she's
is. Yeah.
trying to be inclusive. I don't think it's
Well, because
about.
even the fact that she's like, oh, you can come as my +1, but no one got +1s.
You know what's really interesting? That's maybe why, because I was like, well, why did Lisa invite her then? She knew that she wasn't going to go or wasn't being invited.
Because it wasn't a trip where you were given a plot. You weren't.
That's what I mean. That makes sense now because I was like, wait, why would she have not invited her? But so yeah. Also, we need to talk
Well, it
about
was good. It was a good play on Whit. Like it was a strategic move on
yeah.
Whitney's part because she is friends with Trixie. So it's like,
Uh-huh.
actually, no. Like I'm best friend or
I
friends
could
with the
pull.
owners. I can bring.
Yep.
I can bring who I want because this is my friend's hotel. Like, and she didn't say I couldn't. So
Such a savage move. But we do need to finish off with Monica because I wanted to talk about her last. It is only her second episode. What did you think of her second episode? First of all, let's talk about when she was sitting at the table and she started crying when she told her mom that she went to the Louis Vuitton store to buy a bag so that she had something nice to wear around these ladies on the trip. What did you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. I like totally thought that was a extremely genuine show of vulnerability, and I felt for her very much. So I could totally, totally see that.
No, I agree.
And I'm glad they show that
Me too.
because
I
I think about that kind of frequently, especially when like there's newer whatever. I'm just like, gosh, like how must must be difficult for somebody that's not, yeah, in the same
or
situation.
from what
like,
it's perceived to be, because let's
yeah,
be honest, a lot of these housewives are not as liquid as they come off to be.
true.
So if anything,
True.
Monica is probably more liquid than maybe some of them. But also when she goes shopping with Heather, we finally get to the bottom of her connection to the Mormon religion, but then we find out she was excommunicated. And Heather, you've lost your bad Mormon crown because the real bad Mormon is Monica, because she says that she finally confessed to the bishop that she was having an 18-month-long affair with her brother-in-law. But I don't know if it makes it less shitty that it's what did she say? Her husband's brother's wife's,
Well, her ex-husband's
sister's husband.
Her ex-husband's sister's husband. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So not really her brother-in-law. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it is brother-in-law technically,
brother, yeah,
through marriage. But I mean, technically, it's not like her husband's brother.
Exactly. Yeah. When she said it at first, I was like,
Because I was like, oh, that's really shitty. But then you're like, oh, it's the husband's sister's.
It's technically her ex-husband's brother-in-law.
Correct.
Yeah, that's really yeah.
Yeah, that's
still bad. I mean, well, affairs are bad, right? Not good.
But then we find
affairs
out
in the family also not good.
No, affairs are totally not
bad
good at all. But I will say, at least she came out right with it and didn't try to like.
Right, I like that one because Heather was like, "Did you get caught?" And she was like, "No."
Yeah,
remember Heather was like, "How did you get caught? Did he find out?" She's like, no,
"Yeah,
good on you."
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, because she said in her interview, which is true, like people can't taunt you with stuff.
I really appreciate it. I like that. Yeah.
She owns her shit. And that's
people when you own it, people can't weaponize it against
totally.
you. Like
and it's very true. And I think it's something that we all could learn something from. I think that Monica's gonna really make this cast stick. Because she's not trying to, or she's not coming off like she's trying to like showboat some sort of specific lifestyle. It's just kind of like.
It's funny that you said showboat because I was trying to think of who she reminds me of. At first, I said she gives me like general New Jersey housewife vibe, just because I think she's East Coast. But then I almost think like at least just aesthetically or from a personality perspective, she actually gives me like not showboaty Jen Aiden a little bit. Less dry, not showboaty Jen Aiden. Just with the like because Jen has a little bit of bubbly, funny, just kind of bubbly, innocent airheadiness.
I could see that actually.
But Jen's too stuck up and showboaty.
Yeah, but it's as if Monica was like a toned down version of Jen Aiden and younger before she went through. Yeah, no, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will definitely have to let me know down below. So if you're watching on Spotify, you can go down below and leave a comment on this episode. Let us know, what do you think of Monica?
Well, you
I am
didn't give
liking her
me a
so far.
chance to tell you what I think about Monica. You started the conversation,
Oh,
right?
I thought we were.
Well, you said, "What are you thinking about her?" But first, let us talk about the all the stuff that she. So remember last week I said she is my favorite,
Mhm.
and I mean it just gets better from here. Now we find out that she's from Boston
Right.
and
Yep. She
she's
is.
Portuguese. I mean, I'm not Portuguese, but yeah, I appreciate Portuguese culture, and Boston's very Portuguese, and yeah, big fan.
Big fan of
Big
Monica's.
fan still, yeah, East Coast, Boston, Portuguese. Went through that. She's, owned her shit. Yeah,
So
like
far,
it.
so good, Monica.
Keep up the good work.
Um, well, yes, but even still, let us know down below
Let us
what
know.
you think of Monica, and do you think that she is going to stick around? I think she will. I
Oh,
think
she
she has
bet. Yeah, I
potential.
mean,
She's
she
not a
still
one
has.
season wonder. I
Oh,
don't
she
think
has several more pots of tea for Anjan Shaw
she's
to
definitely. Yeah,
sip.
I just think she's very layered, and she reminds me of what Brandy Glanville was to Beverly Hills when she joined. She kind of shook up the stiffness of some of the ladies and kind of was a little bit more raw and I don't know, just not as like polished and there's like it's like more real life. Like I can relate to Monica sitting at her kitchen dining room table talking to her mom more than I can watching Angie K make a salad. Not because I don't love Angie K's house, but just like the whole thing is just so like,
What do you think, like angry Monica is gonna be like, or pop off Monica, or like heated Monica?
oh, it's
Is
gonna
that
be intense.
you think?
Oh, yeah, there's no way. There's a lot of steam under that pot when it gets going. There's no way she's gonna be calm. Be interesting to see how she gets on with this like feud because I know obviously we know that Lisa and Monica are gonna have an issue this season, so it'd be interesting to see what their altercations are gonna be like. They fight different, you know.
I don't think anyone has any business being afraid of Lisa. Like,
I don't think afraid of Lisa.
well, no,
I
I'm
think
saying like
like
afraid of her. But oh,
think
like
they just both fight.
if you said watch out,
I can
Lisa's gonna
I
come
think
for you, I'd be like,
Monica's fight
okay.
is I feel like Monica's gonna fight a lot differently than Lisa, and that's where it's gonna be
Oh,
interesting.
yeah, that's right. I'm pretty sure like Monica can get
Y-
ratchet.
Yeah, like she could
Go.
go
Yeah,
there
I
if
know.
she wants
She's
to.
yeah, she's still
Hmm.
she still has her ear to the ground.
She doesn't have a jeweler
Right.
on
That's what I'm
call.
saying. Like, yeah, like no one's afraid. Like, Lisa, just go find your ring.
Which,
Shut up.
by the
Get out of my
way,
face.
like, okay, fine, but like, I don't know if I would be.
It's giving me very when like what was it like season 2 of Kardashians
She lost her
when
earrings.
Chris threw in
No,
there. She's
yeah,
like, stop. That was what it was like. Stop, stop.
people are dying. No, I mean, obviously, people obviously know,
Barry's like
like,
it wasn't 60,000.
Mary, because it was. I really don't think so. I think maybe that's what it would cost if I just feel like they clearly
Maybe
have a
she paid
jeweler.
$60,000 for it, but it doesn't mean it's worth 60,000.
Mary, I think I would take Mary's word for it. Because I mean, it's an emerald cut band.
I don't know what that means. So
It's like the square cut, just like the diamonds that are square that go in a
I'd
bow
have
at the
no idea
ring.
what that would cost. You could tell
Well,
me.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like $60,000. Either way, it has insurance, okay? Because then we find out she's calling her jeweler to literally get it replaced, which then triggers Monica, which is where it's. I think this is where we're starting to see where Monica's getting really ticked off with Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it though, because I think it's like
But she kind of was putting her back. I don't know. She's kind of being like a
she's
reality
giving
check
it girl
to,
still.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Like, yeah, it's fine.
don't eat chips over Mary's clothes. Disgusting. Mary's gonna be a good time, I think. You're not gonna enjoy her. But I really think
What's enjoyable about her?
She just has really funny commentary without trying to be
She's
funny.
really rude and,
But it's
like
the tone in which she delivers it at the
no,
raw it's the
no, because she's
timing.
not no, she's not playing that tone like, I'm not buying that she's that tone deaf, like, it's just I don't know, I just don't I like, to this is what I feel like, I feel when she talks and she says all these off the wall things, I feel that feeling of awkwardness when you're in a room or a conversation and someone just keeps making, like, just bad jokes that don't land that no one laughs at or like just keeps saying awkward stuff like Big Ed like when he's like when
Mhm.
people it's like adults that act like children or like that's what I feel like it's just everything's so over the top like awkward and it makes me feel awkward it's like because like 9 times out of 10 all the other ladies are always like Mary but it's like
Yeah.
but like you have to like cut it but it's like no come on
Well,
come on.
it's only episode 2, so I'm sure we still have a lot more Mary to go, but that was pretty much our episode. We
I thought it
pretty
was
much
short.
it did feel short. I just think there was just a lot of movement and it just kind of moved a lot quicker. There wasn't a lot of lagging. Like there wasn't any
Yeah.
weird scenes that were
Yeah.
like unnecessary because I feel
Yeah.
like everything that we saw was really like pivotal for
Well, there was a lot of 2 on or one-on-one scenes and
yeah,
events, usually
a lot of group settings.
yeah, if they're not on a trip, we at least get a group lunch or something. But yeah, they were on the trip. I mean, they had this trip, whatever, planned or scheduled
Yeah,
or
there
whatever.
were
So is
I think
that. But
because they were
like,
traveling for most of it or the latter half of it because the girls were in the car for like the sprint.
well, because that Lisa's ring situation in the
That's right.
airport, like
That's
that was
right.
a good I think that was like a good segment of its own. I think they
Mhm.
took off, we went to break, we came back.
And that
Lisa's
they
in
were
the yeah,
there,
we
but
didn't even
they
get
hadn't
through. We didn't
left.
even we went to commercial before they even got out of the airport and
Yeah.
into the van. So I mean, maybe that was I don't know if that was really necessary, but like I guess I was just like annoyed because it's like we didn't even like there's this whole build up of getting to the Trixie motel, and yeah, like we saw Whitney and Angie like there, but like we didn't even get a scene with the rest of the women actually getting to the hotel, right? Like when Lisa got through the door, it cut, and I
Well,
was like, ugh,
they
rude.
obviously are going to save all of that because next week I'm sure it's going to pop off.
Going down.
Specifically when Meredith sees that Angie's there.
I think
But
it's great.
I do too. I think this is going to be their best season yet. So
Do you
I'm
think
excited.
Meredith like what sort of games or whatever team building stuff do you think Meredith is gonna do? And do you think there's gonna be like drag queen type
Yes, definitely gonna be
thing?
drag queen like
Do you think Trixie's gonna bring a
inclusive.
couple of her girlfriends over to do something?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Who do you think who if you think there's like um what drag race uh stars do you think we might see next week, if any?
Well, oh gosh, I mean, it could be any.
Are there
They're
any of
all
the any other that are any others of them hanging out in Palm Springs a lot? Isn't no. Isn't Plastique Tiara live in Palm Springs?
I don't know.
I don't know why I thought that. I don't
I
know.
mean, honestly, like I could see honestly any one of them. I think
Yeah.
Shangela would have probably been a funny one to have come do an activity of team
Oh my
building.
god, what if they did when you said that for some reason I like
I
instantly
mean, if
thought of
Shangela
Mary.
shows up, I would die. Like I would literally
What
die.
if
I
they
don't
did
think that
no, but
they've
what if
got
they did?
Shangela, but
What if she brought in a queen for every like a complimentary queen for everyone? Because like Shangela and Mary, like that'd be awesome because they're both wackadoodle, and like eh. So like what if they had like that would be funny.
that would.
I don't think it's gonna
You
happen,
know
but
what would be really fun if RuPaul's Drag Race did a special episode with
Like a girls' trip.
Housewives. No, just bringing Housewives on and make them do a makeover with the drag, where they have to do like
Yeah,
drag
that's what I was
like
thinking.
bring the not the same franchise though, like just one from each different city, like an ultimate girls trip situation. But whatever.
And then they could do like a lip sync for your life, like bracket competition.
Yes. That would be funny.
Lisa Rinna would probably win that because she's such a good dancer.
Yeah.
I think.
Lisa Rinna needs to go back and guest judge on Drag Race.
She did that?
Yeah. Before she was on
Well, we have
Housewives.
Erica too. I mean, she would definitely
Erica
go.
should definitely go be a guest judge on Drag Race
Well,
too.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I have to say I am definitely liking the season. It's only 2 episodes in, but I know last week we collectively averaged at an 8.5 out of 10. But what do you rate this episode out of 10?
Ooh, the episode. 8.8.
I'm gonna say I agree. It was about an 8 for me. There's not much that was like.
It wasn't worse than last week's. I don't know if it was
No.
better.
No, I agree. I mean, last week was a good way to start the season, but
Yep.
this one was a good segue into what I think is going to be a pretty dramatic filled season. So, but on our way out, I do want to update you guys that yes, Mauricio Umansky is officially a cast member on Dancing with the Stars. So you will be seeing him dancing his little tail off. We already knew Ariana was going to be on there, so that's not a surprise. But a lot of you guys had called it out based on the bracelets he was wearing in the photo when he was covering his face with the jacket. So there you have it.
Special bracelet if you're on Dancing with the Stars.
No, it's just he has these little stack of bracelets that he always wears, and there was a picture of someone walking into the Dancing with the Stars studio, and someone recognized his bracelet stack and said, "Oh, that's the same stack that Mauricio wears." So I wonder if he's going to be on it. And so today he announced, or they announced, and I think they're actually going to be on Good Morning. I think it's Good Morning America that they all go on, the entire new cast of that. I don't really watch Dancing with the Stars, so
no, I don't really get it.
I know it's a competition show, but I just don't get it. I'm not into it enough to watch it. But congratulations to Mauricio Umansky. And you know what, guys? I'm going to leave you guys with just the same reminders I always leave you guys with. Follow me on TikTok. I go there first for all recaps, for all the celebrity news, and also follow me on Instagram at Georgio Says. I share a little bit more about my personal life, so if you're a little bit nosy, you can head on over there. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you still have time to subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload a new episode. If you're watching, hello, I can ensure you that Spotify is going to love the fact that you guys are using the poll feature, because I don't really use the poll feature on podcasts, but you guys alerted me to that. So thank you for that. And on YouTube, if you're watching, thank you. If you're listening, thank you wherever you're listening. If you want to leave a 5-star review, that would be amazing. I think that's about it. Thank you to Jeff for joining me yet another week on the podcast, recapping Salt Lake City. And yeah, I have nothing else for you guys, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.